Sagittarius.
Hello Sagittarius, this is your March forecast for 2017, and listen, I had already made the first 8 videos, had 4 left, came down with a terrible cold, so I'm a little delayed in getting these last 4 ones done, but I hope you can still understand. I'm going to be a little nasal today for you, but listen, your main focus here in March is going to be on home and family matters, real estate, those things that really attach to your home environment. You have Mercury, the Sun, you got Neptune there, and also I feel that this is a time for you to look at your environment, what it is you want to beautify, fix up, maybe you're going to refinance, or even there could be something about real estate, say as far as purchasing something new. Family members, as far as parents especially, could be more into the picture for you this month. And also another main focus is your 5th house. So we got 2 clusters going on. It's the 4th and 5th house, family, but then 5th house, which has to do with creativity, self-expression, doing those things that you love to do when you have a little extra time off. Children also comes under this aspect, and here you have Mars, Venus, you got Uranus, and also the new moon. So it is a time to be playful, to go out there, express yourself, have fun, Sagittarius. This month can really open up a lot of new doors for your own creativity in ways of expressing that inner self that wants to come out and play. For you that have your own business, you could see that it's really going to power up this month. You might think in new terms of how to expand your business, make the changes that you'd like to do. And I feel there's a lot of guts, there's up and go energy here with both Venus and Mars in the sign of Aries. That is the entrepreneurial sign, right? It's also a fire sign, so it's making you more feisty, more ready to take risks and chances that you may not have been doing much of lately, but now want you to take that leap of faith. And faith is something that you Sagittarians, for the most part, have a whole lot of, right? So this change coming up, this is Uranus, which has been cruising through your 5th house for a longer period of time. It's going to be met up with Mars first, and Venus is going to come around. So you're going to see how your relationships, at least as far as the romantic energy goes, will come with some surprises for you. More on that a little bit later when we get to the transits, but the full moon this month is in your area of career. So your career house may now put you center stage in achieving a certain goal. Some of you might see that there could be a raise, maybe I mentioned. Others, it could be perhaps a promotion, hopefully so. Of course, that won't include all of you, but some of you Sagittarians might be able to get this. It all depends on where your natal planets are as opposed to the transits that we're talking about, right? So Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, they're still doing their thing. Neptune as well, it's long-term transits. They're working in the backdrop of what's taking place this month. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but whenever the personal, the faster moving planets meet up with these longer transits, this is when we have action and the get-go coming up. I want to talk a little bit about the retrogrades that we can experience this month and coming up. Venus, will retrograde from March 4th to April 15th in your 5th house. So this could bring up situations of the past, or it can bring up people from the past, or even exes from the past. Anything that has the signature of unfinished business that has lingering karma to it may resurface at this time. So beware of it. You know, go with your heart and finalize what needs to be finalized or work through whatever is coming up. I feel money too could feel a little bit in retrograde since Venus rules money as well. And it will be moving slightly back into that 4th house with family energy or family members, or also things connected to do with your roots, right, or your real estate. It's a month where, for the most part, we're going to see a lot of forward movement, action. It starts off with you and a vision that you're holding. You might have been thinking about it for a while, but here on March 1st, you're going to see how it's going to be extremely clear to your inner mind, and I'd like for you to hang on to it. There's choices coming up there on the 2nd, 3rd. This is also Jupiter and Uranus opposing one another. And let's halt here for a moment, Sagittarius, because why? Well, Jupiter is your ruler. It is going to be opposing Uranus, which has to do with changes, has to do with what we might want to revolutionize in our life, right? Make radical changes and so forth. But it's also a very political aspect. And more than just how it's operating in your life or my life or, each one of us individually, which it does. And depending on where this aspect takes place for you, it will be between your 11th and 5th house. So self-expression and creativity versus that which has to do with social media, groups, organizations. You might find yourself, expressing yourself more here. But on a global level, we're talking continents and so forth. We're talking political, and we can already see how there's been a lot of demonstrations and that in the world for political reasons. This is not going to go away anytime soon because Jupiter will be retrograde from February 6th to June 10th. So under this whole period, we're going to experience the opposition between what we feel is right as opposed to what other people feel is right. There's a sense of liberating energies coming to the forefront. That's what Uranus does. Egypt had its revolution. Now, Uranus rules revolution, right? All the rebels coming, wanting to free up something that they don't feel is right for them. So, and Jupiter is all about justice. So put those two factors together. We'll see globally headline news on certain levels and certain areas. But let's move on into our chart here on the 4th and 5th. Well, I see that vision that you had there at the start of the month. It's like you're going to communicate this. You're going to share it to somebody who's in the know and get some really good feedback from it. I think this is going to alleviate and lift your spirit a little bit. On the 5th, there's action. Mars, right? It's fiery, goes really well with your sign here. It is coming together with Saturn, and Saturn wants to secure anything that it's working on. It's the taskmaster. So yes, sometimes we can feel that Saturn holds us back from our forward motion, but always for the higher good of everything involved. But when it's in a good aspect like this, and especially with Mars, well, we can see something moving for you that you're feeling really happy about. On the 7th and 8th, there's encounters for you where your communication is going to be exceptional. I can see how you will be exchanging ideas. There will be you bringing new things to the forefront. I also feel there's transformational energy as you're touching upon deeper, more sensitive matters. And these matters are going to touch the base core of your financial situation. It's the 2nd house for money and income. And this is Mercury communicating by sextile, how you might just be able to open up maybe a new doorway where you can see your financial situations starting to lift and rise. Now on the 10th, we have Mars moving out of fiery Aries, and it's moving into the sign of Taurus. Now this is going to give you a whole lot of go-to energy. Think about Taurus. They're firm, right? They're bullheaded. Now I'm saying that in a good way. It's just that when they stick to something, they stick to something, and put Mars behind that, you can come to see that you will start accomplishing a new direction. It's moving into your 6th house, Sagittarius, and the 6th house has everything to do with your day-to-day routine, how you set things up, right? You might be cutting away all the dead weight that just zaps your time level. We've got to think time consciousness. And from that, I feel that you can, in the aftermath, work that much more efficiently with what you're doing. On the 12th and 17th, well, we got a 5-day window where we might find ourselves going, now what? Okay, and what that is Mercury and the Sun both. They're going to be squaring up on your Saturn. Saturn for you is in the first house. That has to do with you, your personality, what you're trying to lay as new grounds in your life, right? And you've been doing this for a little bit. But then the Sun being you and Mercury being your communication and it coming from the 4th house, there might be a situation in the home environment or with one of your parents maybe as well, where you're going to need to look into how to improve, how to expand, how to address a certain issue, or maybe it could be a challenge, whatever it might be for you individually. But we got 5 days there, but once we're beyond it, we're good to go for the rest of the month. So I want you to keep that in mind. On the 20th, the Sun is moving into Aries, so it's coming out of Pisces, which has given you all this, I won't say airy-fairy about Pisces, but it gives you that visionary quest that you've been on here in February coming into March. Now it's all about what do you want to do with it? Where are you going to take it? What doors are you going to open up for yourself? So in the Aryan energy and into that 5th house, very, very creative, right? That's the house of Leo that loves to play, be self-expressive. You know, maybe your artistic talents may come out to manifestation. So this is a great time. This is going to be for the rest of this month. And it's followed by the Sun and Venus in a conjunction. Now, that is always what we look for when we're looking for romantic dates, right? Venus being our heart, it's our love, it's all that sensitive, beautiful, romantic, dreamy energy. The Sun is you. This is a great time to meet somebody new. If you're single, if you're in a relationship, well, then you want to take it, you know, advantage of it and set it up for a dream date evening. The 26th can bring you a little bit of unexpected news. This is news coming from Uranus. So if it's something you've been waiting for, well, then it will bring it to you. Or it could be something right out of the clear blue sky. 27th, yes, this is also the new moon. So remember to put down your intentions on this day. But also Mars-Neptune are sextiling on this new moon, giving it all that extra energy of Mars wanting to take the lead and chase its goals with the higher vision. Remember, Neptune is your higher vision, right? So bringing those forces together under a new moon, let me tell you, do dream, do place your intentions, because why? It can bring you within a month, it can bring those dreams to manifestation. We're ending the end of the month on a good note. Some communications that has to do with longevity. I feel it has to do with a plan that you're putting in place or somebody that you're working with to get some good insight. So if you're working with an advisor on some level, I feel that that can really shore you up. But it's also you communicating with your higher self, your higher advisor, if you wish. It's a day where you might just see the logic of everything falling into place. On the 30th, before we wave goodbye to March, Jupiter is squaring off on Pluto. Now, remember, it's still somewhat in that opposition to Uranus that we spoke about, that global aspect, right? Where we're looking at what is true for us. I think it's really important in these days that are sensitive politically that we all can agree to disagree and just allow everybody to have their peace without getting too entangled. Because when Pluto squares up on, or Jupiter squares up on Pluto, that kind of disagreement can really become entangled, and then here's the power of Pluto that might want to show some force, right? So let's be a little careful with it, especially because Jupiter is retrograde, meaning now it's moving slow, right? And when it's in that square to Pluto, well, that could be lingering and hanging there and just igniting us on the inside. So we, as the people, need to take that power within and show responsibility to go with our heart, to go with a grander vision of what we can all come to co-create, right? So listen, Sagittarius, this was for you this month, and I will see you in April. Bye now.